There's a reason people in my line of work, high-end childcare, sign 50-page NDAs. There are things that happen, things you just can't explain to normal people. You just have to be there. And let me tell you about the time I had to put my 6-year-old clients, friends, on the company payroll. You heard me right, on the payroll. So I'm working for this family. I obviously can't tell you who, but let's just say they are. Big tech. Royalty. My official title wasn't nanny. That's a low-status word in their world. My title was Child Life Manager. It's just Silicon Valley speak for nanny. My client was their 6-year-old son, Daniel, and my day-to-day, it wasn't like any nanny job I'd had before. There was no, hey, let's go to the park and get messy. Everything was hyper-structured. We didn't play. We engaged in optimized learning modules. We didn't have snacks. We had micromanaged organic nutritional intake. I mean, the kid wasn't allowed to have a normal, sugary, brightly colored popsicle. Everything was kale and spirulina blended into this sad, gray paste. The house itself, it was quiet, intensely quiet, all white marble and glass. You could hear your own footsteps echoing. You navigated everything through a smart home interface that was, frankly, smarter than most people I know. It wasn't a home. It was an operating system, and it was just so lonely. For me, sure, but especially for Daniel. He was the sweet, quiet kid, just floating around this giant, empty, sterile box. So one Tuesday, I get a ping on my work phone. The mom, we'll call her Sophia, wants to see me. I go to her home office. And when I say office, I mean it looked like NASA Mission Control. She's sitting there, back to me, in front of this wall of 3 glowing monitors. She doesn't turn around. She doesn't even stop typing. The click-clack-click of her keyboard is the only sound in this giant marble room. She just taps on one of her digital calendars. Daniel's social-emotional metrics are underperforming, she says. Just flat, like she's reading a quarterly report. It takes my brain a solid second to translate this corporate speak. Social-emotional metrics, underperforming. Oh, I say, trying to be helpful, trying to speak human. You mean, he's lonely? He needs a play date? I smile. You know, the nanny for the family down the street, their daughter, Hannah, is lovely. She's the same age. I could call her nanny and we could set something up at the park this week. Sophia stops typing. The click-clack just ceases. It's dead silent. She slowly turns her chair. And she looks at me. She looks at me like I just suggested we feed Daniel gluten or, God forbid, high fructose corn syrup. It was this look of pure, cold confusion. Like I was speaking a dead language. No, she says, and the word is so sharp, it just cuts the air. Not a play date. She turns back to her monitor. I need you to arrange a curated play session for Thursday at 3 p.m. I just stood there. My brain just buffered. Curated? She sighs. This deep, annoyed sigh. Like I'm the idiot. Like I'm wasting her precious, optimized time. I've forwarded you the contact, she says, already typing again. Handle the booking. And the invoice. I'm dismissed. I walk out, pull out my phone, and there's the email. The subject line is Playmate Services, confirmation. I open it. It's an agency. An actual, professional agency with headshots of children. A service that provides children for hire. My jaw is on the floor. I'm reading this, thinking this has to be a joke. This is a prank. But no, this is real. I go back to my little nanny station, and I read the brief Sophia had already prepared. I am to book 2 children from their portfolio to come to the house. The rate? $200. An hour each. These kids were earning more than I was. But that's not even the kicker. The job. And yes, the email used that exact word, job, was to professionally engage with Daniel. And here, and I am quoting this directly from the brief I had to send the agency, the playmates must ensure Daniel wins every game they play. They were also instructed to, quote, initiate spontaneous high-energy interactions and ensure Daniel experiences a high rate of unstructured joy. Unstructured. Joy, it was a performance writer. For a 6-year-old's play date, I had to hire 2 children to come to the house and professionally lose at Mario Kart. I had to pay them to laugh at Daniel's jokes. I was scheduling friendship. I didn't even know what to think, and I did it. I mean, what was I going to do? Say no? I booked them. Thursday at 3 p.m., the doorbell rings. I open it, and there they are. These 2 perfect-looking kids, a boy and a girl. They look like they just walked off a Gap Kids catalog shoot. Perfect hair, perfect clothes. They're not nervous. They're not shy. They just walk in. Hello, the little girl says. We're here for Daniel. Is this the designated play space? I just pointed to the playroom, and I watched them. For 2 hours I watched them. And they were amazing. They were professionals. They played tag. And they were so good at, just barely, missing Daniel, laughing like it was the most fun they'd ever had. They played Mario Kart, and the girl, she mastered the art of getting hit by a blue shell right before the finish line, letting Daniel zoom past for the win every single time. Ah, shucks, she'd say. You're too good, Daniel. And Daniel, God, the poor kid, he had the time of his life. He was laughing, he was confident, he was so happy. When the 2 hours were up, the little boy looked at his watch, a watch, and said, wow, that was so much fun, Daniel, but we have to go now. And they just left. They clocked out. Daniel was beaming. Sophia, who had watched a 10-minute highlight reel I was required to film, was thrilled. She said his metrics had visibly improved. She approved the $400 invoice. And I went to my room and I felt sick, just hollow, and that is the ultimate insider secret to that 0.1% world. It's not the money or the cars or the houses. It's the disconnect. The disconnect from reality is so total, so profound, that everything becomes a service to be bought. Even basic human connection. They've optimized everything. Love, family, joy, right down to friendship. They're so terrified of real life, so terrified of failure or rejection or messiness, that they won't even let their kid learn how to make a real friend. They won't even let him lose a game. They buy the result. So here's my pro tip. This is the real insider access you get from my job. If you ever see a billionaire's kid who seems perfectly happy, who never cries, and who's always surrounded by a rotating cast of cheerful, supportive friends, just know those friends might be clocking out at 5 p.m. fellow nannies, EAs, private staff. Please tell me I'm not the only one who has seen things this absurd.